Welcome to Built to Last. I'm Kate Addamo.
And I'm Adrian Addamo. This is a podcast to challenge the way you think, to change the way you live. Health, home, relationships, and business, it's all on the table. Let's build it to last.
Well, hello and welcome to today's episode. Now, we're recording this before episode 4 and 5 have gone live. So we were hoping to, hear everyone's feedback and thoughts on that one before we did this one, but that's okay. We look forward to hearing that, any thoughts and feedback and any questions that you have, because I feel like there's a lot more depth and conversation to go into there.
But this one's almost mutually exclusive on its own accord, would you not say?
Today's episode is. So today we wanted to talk about just personal development, in particular retreats. As you can see, if you're watching this, that Adrian has his Limitless t-shirt on from his men's retreat that he just got back from yesterday.
Almost haven't had a shower. I am still oozing in the energy and love that happened. Over the last 4 days. Seriously, I did have a little bit of a lull on the way home, because obviously it is a massive energy.
It's normal. It's an energy dump. That's why I don't think people realize the amount of time and planning and energy and months that go into it, let alone the holding of the space for people when you're actually there.
Yeah, and that's just 4 days, isn't it?
Yeah, mine Monday to Friday, so it's huge. So diving into the retreat, firstly, why did you decide to host men's retreats?
Yeah, that's a really good one. So first up, it's my second one. Limitless is genuinely a idea that I had. It would go back, it's 2026. I would have to say almost 10 years ago that it was something that I wanted to create. I hadn't been on a men's retreat or had any of those particular experiences before, but it was, for me, it's always lived in this, we have so much information, we have a shortage of application. And, during that period, I was obviously a manager, leader. And so, the whole accountability, and you could teach people something, but they'd not necessarily know how to put it into action. So for me, retreats was really going beyond just the theory and accountability and actually embodying it and putting it into action. So that was probably the broad vision of it. And the other thing is, I guess, if I'm very honest, it was the experiences that I wish I had.
Yeah.
That is really, if you ask me the detail of the journey that happens during the retreat. Yeah, it is everything that I wish I had at every period of my life. My mid-20s, when I'm, boy becoming a man and, trying to put my big boy pants on, through the evolutions of relationships and, again, in my 40s. And I've had 2 retreats where my father and now my father-in-law have attended, and both of those.
And your brother?
Yeah, my brother, but just talking about,
that level,
because people think men's retreats, they think sort of, I don't know, I guess mid-20s to say maybe mid-50s, but both of my retreats have had a plus 70 legend. And both beautiful humans, obviously their family, but different in their...
Very different.
Different in their upbringings and in their character and in their, their strengths and what they're looking to solve at that period in their life. But also both served as these pillars and anchors as role models for the younger guys.
No one had an excuse when they saw a man in their 70s doing this work.
And then the last one, your father running past him up a hill, was the fucking best thing that I have seen. It was, and I know your dad is able and mobile.
Farm fit will always beat gym fit.
And it definitely came into fruition.
Strength.
So it's that's why I built it. Ultimately to maybe to solve the little Adrian issues that I was dealing with. And as time has passed, it obviously has proven that, and not a surprise, but that I'm not the only one that was going through those those challenges, changes, and the themes are always pretty consistent.
So these guys have committed to themselves, these last 2 retreats, the one that you ran August last year and this one yesterday. there was some men that obviously some family, some guys that you've coached before, some guys that you've worked with, some guys that have followed for years, some that didn't know you.
Yeah.
One of my clients last time, and then this time one of my clients' husbands. And some of them jumped on planes from interstate, not knowing you, not knowing what this was about. And some of them like from farming and regional communities who had no idea. Like the amount of bravery and courage that these men have shown for being the first one in their family or circle to have done something like that.
And that's consistent.
How does that feel to have seen that?
Well, I said it in yesterday's post. Like, I will never get used to the feeling that you get when you see men stepping up for themselves and seeing that, I mean, we'll get into that later, but seeing the transformation that happens, transformation, yes, it is, but like the evolution that happens physically, mentally, energetically in the guys. But yeah, I think to say from a blanket level, the courage that it takes, whether you, the diversity of characters that come to the retreat at the both that I've hosted and any one that I've attended as a participant myself, that's what makes it juicy. Because we had farmers, regional, we've had directors of companies, guys that are going through that what's next chapter.
Employees, retirees.
Employees to retirees, entrepreneurs, directors. Kids, no kids. Single, married,
divorced,
fiancés.
Widowed, all sorts,
And then the themes that run that are so similar, even though every single guy arrives with their own reason of what challenge they're currently facing or what evolution they're looking to step into, and maybe they don't know what the step is and it's clarity. But for the most part, the guys did know what they were coming into, but what they actually discovered once they sort of step in terms of what the real reasons that are certain patterns that they're either generationally either aware that they're repeating or not aware that they're repeating, and things that they were holding that they weren't. And I mean, I'm not going to go into details because that's truly special and sacred for the guys that are there. And I really, one evolution that I did make from the first one to this next one was really to protect that journey that the men went on. I mean, for anyone who saw any of the first one, there was tears, there was roaring, there's rolling in the mud.
But that was incredible that those guys filmed that and that you shared that, and that obviously would have helped other guys to come along. And
I reckon it also scared the shit out of a lot of others.
Possibly.
And that's why I say there is no courage without vulnerability, and that is Brené Brown signature all over it. But it is so true.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple of the transformations not transformations, I guess a few of the things that you told me that were some of the most beautiful impacts after one of the sessions was one of the guys said he's never felt calmer in his whole life. And another one saying the weight of the world was off his shoulders.
Oh, I get chills, yeah.
So to hear those things.
And both, I mean, they were all...
They're not light. They're not small things.
No, and both of these guys, I mean, they were all like just such beautiful humans, beautiful men, right? That wouldn't divulge that sort of, I mean, albeit that sometimes you can see that people are carrying more and sometimes you can't, like we just man up and soldier on. But walking out of this particular session, exercise workshop, and I saw it on his face, and I just said, "Hey man, how you feeling?" He goes, oh, the breath, he goes, the weight of the world is off my shoulders. And visibly you could see it.
Yeah.
And then one of the other guys, like such a high performing operator, like the guy is impeccable at what he does. And, like, how do you know that you're running on, just in fight or flight mode if you haven't had the feeling of calm and peace and relaxation in years? Because most people go like, I'm operating at the highest level. I eventually have either an RDO or public holiday or annual leave, and I'm sick as a fucking dog. And then I go back into fight or flight, right?
Yeah.
And so
That's survival now in our generation. That's
it is.
Yeah,
and that's normal. Like this feeling of anxiety and all the rest of it, that's normal because they don't have the switch to go, relax. Anyway, and he just said, he walked in and said, I didn't come into this particular session like with this like emotional weight or this burden or this trauma that I needed to let go. So he said he was very open-minded and just let's see what happens. No expectation, which is beautiful. And he said, but Adrian, I haven't felt this calm. And you could hear it in his voice. And, again, see it in his face, see it in his eyes. He goes, I haven't felt this calm in, I can't tell you how long. And like, to me, like that's, what a gift, what a gift to be able to give someone. But it's not even from my perspective. Like once you know how good you can feel, it's hard to accept anything less.
Yeah.
And then you now have the tools to go, okay, well, I'm the first guy that's going to say, you'll finish this retreat or these experiences. You're not like brand new and whenever, the whole world changes. You have a sense of what is, of what you can feel and what is possible.
Like, yeah.
But then you will then face these challenges out in the real world. And now you're equipped with some tools to go, how do I go back? How do I re-regulate? How can I go from fight or flight or that pressure to peace? And I mean, that's why I say it's not just theory. It's like, I want you to learn about it. I want you to do it. And then I want you to feel it. And once you felt it, oh, fuck, man. Like then now you know. It's not just, oh, well, this sounds great. It's now I felt that. And now I can have
Absolutely. I think people don't realize if they haven't been to a retreat, just the kind of filter valve release, like just take the pressure off because of the way that they are. Like, and I know that because I've held 5 retreats and you 2, so 7 between us now.
My guru, babe.
Yeah, told you a couple of things, and you've taken all my supplies, but that's all right.
Are they? They're our team. They're our team.
They're our team now. What was I going with that? The filter release, and like this is why we host them, but I've also been on so many retreats as well, and all sorts of different ones in Bali and health and business and spiritual, and because it almost becomes a little bit addictive to just go once a year, I just need to step away from my life, clear the filter, get a little bit of perspective. I have had some great ideas. There's a beautiful women's group program that I'm just running at the moment, Find Your Flow, for the 3rd time. The idea came to me in a yoga shala in Bali on a retreat. It's just because I had the space to actually let that come in.
One of the guys, after the second session, I could just see him like whittling like on his notebook, and I said to him after, mate, like you were taking some exceptional notes. He said, I've just rewritten a business plan.
Yeah, clarity.
Yeah, and that was actually his thing of what was he feeling. It was a bit of stuck, feeling a little bit lost, and then the pattern for him was hesitation. Yeah. So it wasn't so much, there was an element of shortage of ideas and which one to choose, but then there's that, like standing at the starting blocks and like, do I start, do I not? Launch. Yeah. Yeah. And there's, again, we unwrapped that and it was really interesting to see, the root cause of where that came from and him being able to rebuild that self-confidence and trust to not just have a plan, but, between myself and the group, there is some pretty stiff accountability on, certainly the next 72 hours to start changes. To put those plans. Great, we did make some plans, and now, let's get out in the real world and actually step forward.
Absolutely, but it's not just business that.
These
guys are making.
He was business. He was business.
What I was saying.
2 guys were business. The other guys, it wasn't so much business as much as it was either their personal, mental, emotional space and relationships as fathers.
Relationships is a big one at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, and everyone. I mean, there's so much pressure coming from every angle. So, and finding their spark and wanting to be better husbands, wanting to be, better fathers, more present rather than just proximity. Like I'm in the room, but I've got my headset on or I'm watching sport or whatever it is, and knowing that that's not who or they want to be or how they want to show up, but still just bogged down by weight. And it's hard to, even though a lot of them wanted to make the change, it was the first part
not
of
a lack of want. It's just sometimes a how, and how do I even create the space, or where do I even start? Because everything feels like it needs my attention, and I need to do everything better yesterday. Where do I actually start that?
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes it can't just, it can happen in your day-to-day life, but it's so much harder than it is to actually just step away and have a reset, and the clarity just comes. And even if the clarity thing, it'll start to open things up, but I've also found in the weeks after, more and more things start to land as well and just become clearer too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the other reason why, it's because they've got everything. They're already up to their friggin' eyeballs.
Yeah.
And they're also thinking about, how do I do more, be more, and all the rest of it. And so day one is release. Like before we're trying to build standards and, grow potential and change things up, we're releasing, we're fucking letting things go. We're emptying the filter and expanding bandwidth so that we have the capacity to be able to go, okay, well, all right, awesome. I've cleared some filter. Now let's go. Now let's reprogram. Now let's rebuild. And we do that. And then you go into proof. Now let's prove that it's not just an idea. Oh my God, that's whimsical and amazing. Now let's
put it into action.
Yeah, and prove to yourself. And I don't want to say it's isolated to men, but particularly men, they need to get their hands on it.
Yeah.
Get their hands dirty.
Yeah, and I think it's just good for them to, and sometimes for them to appreciate what's at home a little bit more as well when they've stepped away, and to be missed. I think that's a healthy thing as well. And I think to, be nurtured and have this beautiful food and everything just laid out and just, simplified. And it is like, it's a holiday, but it's not a holiday because they're being,
check out some of the photos. It's not a holiday.
No, but it's not because
but
there's a really masculine and feminine and beautiful blend. There's still softness and there's still the boot camps, but there's
it's yin and yang softer, for me.
Yeah.
The way I know your format and the way it is an energy and emotional journey of the way it goes.
A kind of outcome.
And a big part of the format for each one of my days is yin and yang, right? It is going to be the boot camp push beyond your perceived limits. And the sense of pride that each of these guys got to, because there's the noise of, can I do it? And whether you're 30 years old or 73 years old, they all had that fear or uncertainty of, what's this guy going to put us through? Can I actually do it?
Yeah.
And make no mistake,
they all did it.
Wow, yeah, the foot was on their back to keep pushing, and they were going through the battle. But it's not a fitness test. It was, everybody pushed to their capacity plus one, right?
Yeah.
And the sense of pride that you get from doing it yourself. And that was the push, that was the yang. And what did I say at the retreat? I said, we yanged the fuck out of it, right? But then the next part of the day was very much,
more gentle and feminine led.
It was. And it was soft, and it was exactly what they needed. And each day had that same balance. Night, day, hard, soft.
Yeah, and that's something I think that we put so much time and effort into, is the flow and the experience and the energy of it and the outcome.
We really do.
There's a lot of hours that we both spend in that because it's so important, and you want people to have that experience.
But I mean, I don't know, how do I say this without blowing a trumpet? But that's how we live. That's what we do. And the idea of it is this isn't just oh man, this is, the perfect day and blah, blah, blah. It's this is possible. For me, the retreat is, for men who know there's got to be another way. And this is 95% of the time how we will live our days, our life with the yin and yang.
Yeah.
Go hard, retract.
Yeah.
Finding moments of peace, trying to find moments of presence. And I'm the first one to say that I am not the guru. I'm not perfect. There are many times where I'll be so much more dialed in, focused in my coaching, and yet I can sit on the couch and be distracted by Instagram or something else and blur my lines. So I'm not saying that it's about being perfect, but it is about giving people the experience of how we roll, and then what is possible for them in a real way.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's I think the only thing that I could say, not the challenge, but would be, I can't find the right words, but that not enough people will actually do this for themselves. This is the hardest thing I see. Even
with women?
women will more, like, sometimes the women is the fear around the spending money and where could that go and children and all sorts of things. But the women that have all done it just went, oh my gosh, like so needed and so necessary. And I think so many of my clients have said, and especially the ones that have been to a retreat, oh, I wish my husband or I wish my partner would go. And they wish that and they can see that for them. And some have actually booked the tickets for them.
Yeah, they have, yes.
At your retreat last year. But it's one of those things that I think people are like afraid of being vulnerable or afraid of what they'll get out of it or afraid of what
it's fear of unknown. It's fear of the unknown. And then that's the ultimate root of it. It is the fear of unknown. And you know what that sounds like? I haven't got time. I can't leave my partner, significant other, alone with the kids for 3 to 5 days. I can't get the time off work. You know, I don't need it. It's like the root cause is, in my opinion, the fear of the uncertainty and the unknown. Like even the guys who came, it was a conversation for, I would say 80% of them saying, right, so what is it? Tell me, you know, like, and is it for me?
What am I going to get out of it?
And half of them are sussing me out. Like, am I a guy that can actually, you know, walk them through this journey? And then, like yours, it's pretty much even after the first day, but certainly 100% by the second day. And then they all leave, you know, going, fuck, this is exactly what I didn't know that I needed.
Yep.
They are the words. I didn't realize how much I needed it.
I hear that every single retreat for the last 6 years. I hear that all the time.
And it sounds like bullshit, but I got it on video. Right?
Yeah. No, it is. It's like, and the beautiful things you hear, it's how much it's changed someone's life and given them perspective. And they're thinking about things very differently, or they've been so stuck in something that's helped to shift and to move through that and to make big decisions and to help people facilitate that is just the coolest thing ever.
And I can say that is exactly what I want to do. And I will also own up and say that uncertainty and doubt, without a doubt, particularly on this second campaign, crept up for me, because when you're putting something out there that you know is so needed, and then facing the challenges of people not stepping up to say yes, I felt that it was a me issue and maybe this isn't for me and maybe I can't do this. And then, you know, I got to the point where I was able to continue and execute and facilitate the second retreat. And it's just to get that re-injection of
this is so needed.
When you see the impact that it has, whatever challenges I face, bring them on.
Yeah.
That's my challenge. Like if other men or women have the challenge of, you know, saying yes to themselves, well, then my challenge is continue to, you know, create the space for those that when they are at that point where they've got the courage to be vulnerable and they eventually put their hands up, there is going to be a space for them to go into. And for me, that's why I'll continue to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay tuned for the next dates.
Yeah, we've got a lot to work out. Lots of thoughts and ideas. And I had some planned for this year and then I've cancelled them, but then part of me wants to bring it back because I'm getting itchy thinking about it again because I love it. Like the one that I did last year, like they just seem to get better and better and deeper every year. And I felt like I was floating. It was like probably the best experience of my life, the one that I hosted last year. And if I could do that 3 or 4 times a year, it would just be the best feeling. But
quarterly.
It's, you know, we're here creating these beautiful spaces, but it's just up to people to say yes to themselves.
It's and then there's the financial aspect of it. Like these spaces are not getting any cheaper. There's the financial aspect that's got to be considered as well.
It has changed a lot. The venues and the food and all of the different, you know, things that we do and facilitators, the price has definitely changed. But where I was going with that was that, you know, I know it might feel hard sometimes and that it might feel like a stretch. And if it's a stretch, that's a good thing because I think it's sometimes like our nervous system wants to keep us safe. And it's like, I know I felt that when I went to my retreat in Bali 18 months ago, with the volcanoes were hit that week beforehand, I was like, well, that's it. The flights were cancelled for a couple of days. I'm not going. I was trying to think of every reason. It's not meant to be. I'm going alone.
That's right.
No, that's it. I'm not going. And I just was like, that's it. This is not meant for me. I'm not going to die in a plane crash. And I think it was that I knew there was a next level coming for me, that you get this like fear sometimes before you sign up to these things.
Before you click it,
Before you click it. And I had clicked and I, you know, started to pack and that happened. So that was a real test.
That's called buyer's remorse. Yeah.
No, it wasn't buyer's remorse.
No,
it was a test of my, I can't find the word just at the moment, but it really just, it was a test of like, I think the self-trust and moving through the discomfort of this feels uncomfortable, but I'm going to come out the other side far better.
It was
and I'm
also
so glad I did
a
that.
resurgence of independence for you because if I remember, like, I mean, you were fiercely independent. Then COVID did impact you, you know, with isolation in Melbourne, isolation at the farm, you know, coming back to Toowoomba. So there was also that safety of not that you were dependent, but of that reclaiming your independence.
To do that again,
so
because
yeah,
I
that
went
was
to
huge.
Los Angeles at the end of 2018 to a retreat.
No dramas,
as well.
jumped on a plane.
Yeah, to Los Angeles, but this felt different because I think that things had changed a lot in my world, and losing mum, I think I was insulated a lot there and in a bubble for so long.
Do you remember when I signed up for that Kerwin Ray, bless his soul, he's passed, but that Kerwin Ray course, that was the most money I'd ever spent in one hit on self-development. I can't remember, I think it was like 8 or 9 grand. And I procrastinated so hard on that. And I remember, and I'm a coach who's selling coaching courses, who's now going to invest the biggest sum of money in a coaching course. And when I clicked the button, I can't tell you the fear and the sensation that was going through my body. And I remember learning somewhere along the way is the biggest objection that you will ever, the hardest objection for you to face or for you to, what's the wording for it? The biggest challenge is the objection you haven't faced yourself. And so if you have never invested that sum of money in yourself, that will be your challenge, right? And so, it was a big thing of self-worth.
It's a huge one. I think my first mentor taught me, there was one she taught us in our group, the transformation is in the transaction. When you hit that and you pay that, things already start transforming because you're already in that space.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times in the first few years of business I'd invest in myself and then I would get a few new inquiries come through, or I'd have clients who would start working with me and they'd be starting to grow and up level and just go, I just got 2 new quotes, or clients reach out, or something in that space.
Energy
and I remember,
shift.
Yeah, I remember having 3 wonderful clients sign up a couple of days after committing to a mentoring program, because it was just, I'd committed to my up level, and that starts to feed into that. And I remember what I was going to say before around the affordability. Sometimes I think it's one of those things that if you really want something to happen, it's really just putting it out there to the universe and believing it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
And I've said that to a few clients who have wanted to do mentoring, and they've come back, the universe made it happen. Same with one of the women who came into my retreat a couple of years ago. Single mum, 3 kids, no one to look after the kids. It wasn't really affordable, and put it out there to the universe. It came to fruition. She had a beautiful friend offer to take care of her 3 kids on top of her own kids for the week.
Wow.
Which was no small feat.
Nah.
But I think it was just, don't be afraid to ask. It's like sometimes we'll put up all the walls and all the stories of why this can't be possible, and I get it. It's a fear of money, it's a fear of the up level, and sometimes you just have to go, but what have I got to lose here? Because how is it working for me right now? Yeah,
and for me to just sit here and say, I know that the lens that I look through life is optimistic, that I'll find a way, but I know that in itself is a learned behavior, and sometimes if we're looking for no's and negativity, we'll find them.
It's easy to find.
I mean, it's just, I can't think of what that psychological, there's a term for it, but, if all of a sudden you're looking for a new car and you say, I'm really interested in a black Mercedes, and all of a sudden, black Mercedes, and all of a sudden you start seeing black Mercedes, right? So the same thing happens when you're starting to go, well, this is something that I really want, and not thinking of the I can't, and there's all the reasons why. It's like just changing your language. How can I? How can I?
How can I make this possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going back to the curiosity that we've spoken about in other episodes, like getting curious. How can we make this happen?
And that's that. And then, there's the power of, of being around people. Quinton, who he's a superior athlete. He's also he's the videographer, but also like such an integral part of my retreats. And I was talking to the guys about one of my goals, and I've obviously got a running coach, and I said, where I'm at right now and some of the goals that I've got. And I said what the goal was, sub 19 5K and a sub 90 minute half marathon. And without even saying anything, he's just gone, hell yeah, you've got this. And it was just like this automatic, like,
just having someone in your corner.
And it was because sometimes we're by ourselves, and can I do it? I don't know if I can do it. Even as an optimist, there's sometimes limitations of, am I physically able? Is age a factor? Whatever. And so, like, talking about the mentor, it can be in any area of your life, and just the expansion that happens in those areas, whether it be career, health, mindset, giving the space to empty the filter. It's all it's all available when you put yourself in the space for it.
Absolutely.
So what do you see when you? I mean, you are certainly 5 retreats, and probably going to look at more in different capacities. But what do you see as the energy flow? And I mean, I'm hot off the back of one, so I know what I see. But if you could describe it as a feeling, and whether it be physical or visceral.
Yeah, I think, well, even just thinking about some of the women when they turn up, some are really excited because obviously some of them have been clients for years and we're meeting for the first time in the flesh, which is cool in itself. So we already know each other. So that's very exciting. And then there's been women I haven't met before, or, and everyone just turns up in such a different space. But I see, and I've seen in the last couple of retreats, there's been some apprehension, some walls up from some of the women of just like, oh, what's this going to be? And a real fear on that first day, and just wounds from being around women as well. And I think one of the most beautiful things,
because women being attacking to other women,
women, not like in a retreat space,
not in a retreat space,
just
but
from as
past.
Women, like we've dealt with that a lot from, and I certainly have. Whether it be at school or in jobs or with bosses or with women that you've supported or whatever it might be. Like there's definitely a lot of that where not everyone has your back, and sometimes the people who say they do the most really don't. But that's a story for another day. That there was a lot of sort of sisterhood wounds, as we call them. And by the end of that first day, that one of the women was actually in tears and just said, I feel safe around women again. I trust women, just from that experience of being there. And I don't think the magnitude of that statement can fully be understood until you're actually in that space, and to hear a woman say that and to what she has felt, to then feel that kind of safety. So I see this beautiful unraveling of these women, mostly mums and all business owners, who are kind of exhausted, who haven't had a time for them. And just like, I think the gratitude that they have for not having to think about anything, do anything, worry about anything, the beautiful food and the catering and the styling. And we really stepped the styling up last time and made it really special. And
so did I.
Yeah, well, I had a little bit of an input in that. We did set up a few scenarios at home and take photos so he could replicate on site. The trust wasn't there yet to let him do it solo, but he'll get there.
I had to lean into that vulnerability, carrying my little flowers around.
That's it. And just, I think just stepping it all up and just giving women this space where they feel so nurtured, so loved, so cared for.
But rather than being the ones that are always doing the taking care of,
they don't
just
to do anything.
Yeah.
But just seeing
it's called
them,
nurtured, isn't it? Nurtured.
Yeah, nurture. Yeah. And then the last one was unfold. I just see it as that beautiful rose that's kind of unfolding and really starting to blossom. So it's an incredible thing to witness and experience, and to just be a part of, and I think to spend so many weeks and months curating to within an inch of its life, especially for mine with the food and planning and styling across 5 days, is so much.
Yeah.
But the content flow, and then to see that be received the way that it is, and the impact that it has on those women there, and then back in their life, and then the ripple impact and effect that has, but also the friendships that have started there as well. And some women have helped each other out. They're interstate. They've supported each other.
I was going to say, do you think like it's a feeling of, even for women that do have quite close circles, there is still a feeling of isolation? And that's...
Absolutely. So many women in business feel isolated, whether they've got a team or not. Like, it can feel really lonely, and having someone to bounce things off. So there was no competition, and some of these women have been in the same industries in some very similar areas and towns, for sure, on some of the retreats, but they've just shared so openly and are still supporting each other in different ways. And I know that some of them are still connected, even years on, that they just know that they can reach out to that woman and just share and have a chat and bounce things off. And that's cool.
It was so interesting because the isolation that men feel is that prison, because particularly all the guys that showed up, it was so interesting. One, there was, I can't have these chats with my mates. My mates are my mates.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about footy scores. We're going to talk about maybe the kids, maybe work and whatever, and the weather,
the surface.
But most of them didn't have the people to be able to just say, fuck, man, this is what's actually going on. And what was super encouraging and to see, more than 50% of the guys, part of their hesitation of even saying yes to coming is, because they know that there's something they need to get off.
Yeah.
And more than 50% said, I don't feel comfortable, like spilling my beans, pouring my heart out, particularly in front of other men. And what surprised me was, because I'm in my head, I need to create safety for these guys.
Yeah.
So there's some other guys that are coming that feel a little more confident around this space. I'll encourage them to share first.
Yeah.
And that'll create a bit of psychological and physical safety for these guys. These guys got to the space and just went, like, all three of them.
First.
I'll go first. I'll go next. And it was like, I was just like, okay. And then...
because they feel safe to do that. And I think that is one of the beautiful things that you've said to me before. And I definitely feel that is how quickly people feel safe to be vulnerable with us and to share those things. And I think it's because we don't have any fear in it. And I was sharing that with my women's group last week. Like, I don't care. I will share anything if it helps another woman and she can relate to that. Like, I don't have a fear around that. And I think so many people do. And we all have plenty of fears, but I'm very grateful that that's not one that we have. And we're very happy to share, the weaknesses, the challenges, the scars and the messy bits that have got us to this point. And I think that that's a cool thing to be able to do. And I think that it really does make people feel safe. And that's just such a special thing that I'm really glad that we can and want to.
Yeah. And that's people. The point. Like I know I can and I know I want to. Are we going to do a retreat together?
We've talked about it a lot. No, we don't have anything planned as yet.
We don't have anything planned, but...
we don't have any dates.
It's funny?
We've been talking about it for ages. Yeah.
So I was on my way I was driving to the retreat and I can't remember how it came up, but you said to me, don't think I didn't notice that you didn't invite me to be a
speaker at yours when I invited you to be a speaker at mine, and then I took over the day.
Oh, that was...
You'll have stronger parameters next time.
Funny. Oh, man, that was so funny. And it wasn't that I don't want you at my retreat at all. I think that I just, I don't have an excuse.
No, well, your retreat's shorter than mine too. Mine's a Monday to Friday. It's a lot longer, so there was a bit more capacity for that.
But and maybe I'm going to put this out to the crowd, but I definitely want to do a retreat with you, and I definitely want to run a retreat that's men and women, right?
Yeah.
Not couples, not a couples retreat. We're not ready for Speedos and yoga yet.
Who says we're not?
Well, no, we are. I shouldn't say that, but I don't want to go like that. Doesn't necessarily need to be the next one, but like I know that I've got women in my network that it's not about like, oh, they've got to step into the masculine. But they can push themselves physically and mentally and emotionally and all the rest of it. I know there's women in yours, and there's probably men in yours that would, come over. So, and I feel like, I've had this thought, and I know that we've spoken about it, but I do want to do like an open retreat. Maybe that's what the format.
Yeah, I'm not sure. There's still many ideas that are floating around, and it's just we just had to get through this one first, and then it's the time and the space to plan.
What about how many likes would we need to get on this episode for it to go from we're thinking about it to okay, the crowd has spoken?
On the post, are you talking about the post? Like
whatever.
When we share the reel,
Rochelle's going to share a reel about this.
Our wonderful producer, which I've been meaning to thank for her wonderful work behind the scenes. So thank you for mentioning wonderful Rochelle, who is just doing so much behind the scenes to bring this to life. We're so grateful for her work.
So going back to it, for Kate and I to run a retreat, an open retreat where men and women, not couples, though not excluded, how many likes would this post need to get for you to go, okay, the tribe has spoken, let's put it on let's make it happen on the calendar?
Oh, I'm going to say 100. I'm going to go huge goal.
Guys, I really want this to happen. Please, I don't know which camera to look at. Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Because her human design is, once she has proof, she'll make it happen.
Yeah, and we're both 5'1", so we both love teaching and nurturing and caring for people, so it only makes sense.
And so many people keep going, because we've mentioned human design. Like, what is human design? So 2 men's retreats in a row.
Yeah.
Human design has blown their mind. Mm-hmm. Both workshops have gone over time, and like the guys we need a whole day on human design. I've already spoken to Vanessa about we need to talk about evolution of this.
Yeah, and maybe we need to speak to someone and have a guest. Maybe that's one of the things that we need to do at some point too, is to bring on a guest in the future.
We're due for introduce that pillar. Okay.
Yeah, but I think we've spoken way longer than we thought we were going to today.
Wow.
But if you can't tell, we're pretty passionate about this kind of work. Like we both just love helping people so much and just showing them what's possible in life and giving different perspectives and helping them clear the filter and to feel loved and to feel self-trust and to, really get in touch with their higher self and to want to grow and to want to be better, happier, more connected versions of themselves, because I think we've grown up as millennials in a society of success looking like, A, B, and C, and it being very materialistic, whereas we don't look at it in that way. And I think health and happiness and peace and love and some of those really beautiful things feel a lot more like success. And I think that there's more and more people starting to make the shift to that are just looking at the success that they thought they wanted, or they've hit that monetary goal, or they've got those things,
and you can
it's
feel
just
it.
not.
You can feel it.
Some of them are so miserable.
You've got some of those things, and yet you're still not like
tied to it. They're absolutely owned by that business or career, and the health suffering and relationships are suffering.
I mean, caveat. I'm not saying quit the business or close the doors or change job or leave the relationship. I'm saying let's release the filter. Let's find out what actually will fulfill you and how we can do it. And then you can return with a revised reframe outlook on how to go about it.
And you need the space sometimes to do that. It's hard to figure out what's next when you're stuck in the middle of something.
Yeah. But it isn't what it is, and there is another way.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for being here. We'd love to hear your thoughts, feedback on this episode, and we would love to see some of you at whatever it is that we land on and decide to create this year, next year, who knows. Hopefully we can bring something to life this year.
Do you have any wait lists that add to waitlist? Mm-hmm. You do? Okay, we're going to put our wait lists for our respective experiences in the show notes, because if you want to stay abreast with what may come, jump on board.
Yeah, good point. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to chatting with you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, legends.